The medieval theme is something that we chose because first of all, we love that time period.
Hello.
Hello.
We are part of 7 people, small indie game development team, Foxy Voxel from Novi Sad, Serbia. My name is Nino.
My name is Vladimir.
And yeah, we are pretty seasoned game developers. We worked on many titles prior to going medieval in different companies. 2-3 years ago, we started working on going medieval and decided to get together and form the Foxy Voxel.
All of us at Foxy Voxel wear different hats, so I can't say that I'm a game designer or artist, so everybody does a lot of things. We just like to call ourselves developers, so if there is a lead developer in our company, then yes, maybe we are lead developers, but other than that, we do a lot of stuff.
So Going Medieval is a colony sim builder with deeply stimulated characters, and what we think it sets us apart is that terrain is completely destructible, and obviously it's 3-dimensional game, so you can build up and down below the ground and using like building blocks rather than preset buildings.
Yeah, and the medieval theme is something that we chose because first of all, we love that time period, and we felt that the manual labor and the way that things have been constructed and worked out without technology and machinery is a very interesting theme to be explored by the player within the game.
Yeah, and while we're at it, we can take a look at the gameplay.
What we wanted to show here is like the 3 dimensions that the players can play with, how they can dig a very, very deep hole and make a base underground, and even the base underground can be in more layers.
And also here we wanted to show various systems around the game, like nature, like thunder, lightning, fire, cold, temperature, wild animals, and other calamities. This guy is vomiting, this guy is hunting, and of course seasons.
Because food does really grow, and the player needs to think about those things.
So yeah, villagers are simulated and they have their needs, and as a player you need to organize their workload and resting load.
Yeah, at the end, the player needs to use all the materials and resources to build a base and survive various attacks from very colorful enemies. Wow, okay, the game has changed so much from when we did this trailer. This trailer was done, well, almost a year ago. So a lot of things have been changed for the better. So nothing was took out, but the game does, I would say, looks much better. Especially because I did a lot of the visuals in the trailer and in the game. So yeah, I hope it does look better.
Yeah, so basically we wanted to convey this premise of the game, maybe call it a lore, where why is this happening, why there is so few people, because the lore is, the premise is that we are in alternate history, 14th century, when the Great Plague was, like in real life, but in this alternate version, 95% or whatever, like a lot of people died. And basically this caused complete collapse of society. So there are no more states or kingdoms. There is no more organized church, just like a post-apocalyptic scenario set in medieval times.
And so here we are. As we can see, the player starts with a handful of settlers, and they need shelter. And our simple 3D building system is at play here. We are making a home for our settlers. Small home, nothing fancy, just 4 walls and a door and a roof. For us to build a better house, we need to chop down some trees, start gathering resources. We can click on any tree, any bush in the game, and order our settlers to harvest them for lumber, for sticks, for food. We can make a hay roof and some simple sleeping spots inside of our house. It's very important for our settlers to have a dry place to sleep, because if they fall asleep in the rain, they will be unhappy, or if they fall asleep in the cold or on the ground. So it's something that needs to be something that we need to think about while creating our settlement. So starting small and going big, we can prioritize which settler does what job type. So if some of our settlers is better at chopping wood, it's better for us to set him to have a higher priority to chop down trees, because we're going to get more resources out of it. And we have set a small research table inside of our house and a couple of torches. So now we can unlock new technology. We've unlocked a beam, so now we can build these types of structures where the beams just snap between 2 walls. That will allow us to build a second floor and to build a much more interesting and large structure.
Yeah, beams are important because the game features like real life kind of stability physics. So everything that's built has to be supported.
Yeah. Nothing can just be up in the air. What we're doing here is we're building a roof over our stockpile. So the player can set a stockpile anywhere on the map, and the settlers will bring resources to that stockpile. And setting up a roof over our stockpile will make our resources rot and decay less, because if you leave a piece of food in the rain, it will decay and it will be destroyed, and nobody will be happy about it. So jumping a bit through time, we have a larger settlement here. We have a kitchen set up here. We have some workstations set up. We can build spears, build weapons out of wood. And when our settlers wake up, they will start building. We set up a nice multi-level structure here. See how our wooden hut has turned into this larger structure on 3 stories.
Yeah, and if you saw walls appearing and the roofs appearing and disappearing, this is the layer system we have. So player can move through the layers in order to see even underground if they want to.
One of our settlers woke up, went to get some food, sat down in our great hall here and had some breakfast. And she's going on her daily routine, set up also by the player. She's going to a small church we set up to pray. So the interesting thing is that the player can build anything they can imagine. So they can have a church underground, they can have a great hall up on like 5th floor if they want. Yeah, we have wildlife around our map. We see a hunter hunting down these poor rabbits. But medieval people need to eat, and that's also a source of food. Hunters will hunt down animals, and then they need to be butchered for leather and meat. So here we see the schedule system where we set up how a day in the settler's life looks like. It's very important that we set up balance between their leisure time and the time they work, they sleep. If they only work all day, they won't have time to eat, to go and pray, to entertain themselves. Here we see that the autumn has come. The leaves are nice and red, yellow, all those nice autumn colors. That means that the harvest is going to start soon. We see nice carrots here. One of our settlers is harvesting carrots.
Basically, the player's role is to set up all the systems, and it's very satisfying when those systems start working together like good clockwork.
So here we see underground stockpile. So why is that important? It's important because the temperature underground is lower than above ground. So everything inside that underground stockpile will decay more slowly.
Yeah, which is very true to medieval times.
Yeah.
People had root cellars back then.
So we can set up a brewing station for our settlers to brew ale and wine. And one interesting thing happening is we have various events happen to the player during gameplay. So one of these events is a hailstorm. So hail is starting to fall and to destroy the player's crops. The one thing that we can do is harvest everything very fast in order to preserve as much of the ripe resources as we can before the hailstorm destroys everything. As we can see here, a lot of our crops have been destroyed. And yeah, new people will arrive at our settlement. Here, runaway slave has arrived. We can choose whether we want to let him join us or to close the door in front of his nose. If we let the settler join us, his capture might come in a few days, demanding us to return him or attack us. As we see, they have arrived, and we can give the settler back, but everybody will be unhappy because of that. Or we can stand our ground and fight the attackers. Here we chose to fight them. As we can see, they have arrived at the edge of our map. The player can take control of every settler, similar to a strategy game. Set up our archers here on a tower I made in order for our archers to have the higher ground and have bonuses to damage and range. Because it's raining, they have smaller visibility. That means that their damage and their range is impaired. And as we see, the attackers have arrived. Our melee fighters have engaged in battle. One of them has snuck up from behind with the axe. We see that the enemies also have archers, but our crossbowmen and archers will take care of them. And we don't need to kill all of the attackers for them to surrender. So we were able to kill 6 out of 8 of them, and 2 of them are slowly running away. One of them, heavily wounded, is limping off. And we see one of our settlers is chasing two of our settlers are chasing the remaining attackers. So that would be it for gameplay. So we will have a chance to manage, defend, and build complex structures in an exciting medieval time.
Yeah, thank you, London Game Festival, for letting us participate and show our game to as many people as we can. For those who are interested, they can follow us on Twitter or become part of our community, very lively community on Discord, and go to Steam and wishlist the game if they want to, because that means a lot to us. Thank you again. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.